Hey there, StarCraft fan. Legacy of the Void from the Asus Rogue tournament that just wrapped up. We're going to have a best of 5 here from ByuN and Stats. Game number 1 will be on Dethara, the latter edition. In bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. It is Stats. And in the top left, it is ByuN. He is the blue Terran player. These two players are so very excellent. Checking for proxies here is Stats, because ByuN is an excellent Terran player who can play macro, who can play proxy, who can play mid-game pushes. You never know what to expect when you're playing against ByuN. Alright, so... Still checking for proxies here is Stats. Man, he really doesn't trust ByuN. I know today is not Sunday, but I needed to do a PvT because I haven't done one in a while, and there are no... long macro games from Asus Rogue that are PvT for some reason. I think the meta shifted to just timing attacks, right? So, to make up for that, PvT fans, here is a best of 5 between two players that you know and love. One Rax expand here, one Gateway expand, and nothing too crazy. One gas taken by each player. Yada, yada. Ooh, Cybernetics core into Nexus. He's a little bit worried about aggression, but ByuN skipped the Reaper, went for a Reactor, which we know why, his wrist problems. And yeah, getting a probe kill with a Reaper is basically a superhuman feat in TVP, because by the time you get there, there's an Adept out, or, you know, a Stalker out, or something that can kill you real easy, and probe control here for Stats is excellent and all that great stuff. So anyway, both these players are top 10 in the world here at this point. And let's see who comes out on top in this best of 5 for your Wednesday. Crazy stuff, I know, right? Falcon loves you. He loves you so much. That's why we're doing this today. It's because of the love he has in his heart. Factory here. Yes. Adept, Warp Gate, Shield Battery, right? Just in case it is a Banshee, because we have no information at all as to what's coming out. And, you know, if something bad shows up, a shield battery keeps stuff alive long enough for enemy or defender units to show up and deal with it. Adept's going to go for that scout, but, I mean, ByuN would have to be really off his game to let the Adept here inside the base. Double pumping Marines is a little aggressive at this stage of the game, but there's an expansion. Look at this. Look at this timing. He just knows. He knows when the Adept is going to show up. Adept is like, well, I can't delay construction on that natural base, and I really don't want to be stuck inside the natural when there's Marines pinning me in, so let's maybe wait for our buddy and go for round 2. Suppose that's what we could be going for. Hellion's in production from ByuN. Love that stuff. Got ourselves a Robo on the way from Stats. He sees the Marine count and says, you know what? I feel like we could be really benefited by having some Colossus or Disruptors in this particular matchup. The amount of Marines is a little bit scary. Hellions here too. Again, Colossus so good against Hellions. Even Hellbats, they're both light units, right? So that bonus damage is really fantastic. Tech Lab coming up on the starport, so it could be for a Raven. Probably not for Banshee at this stage of the game, but we'll keep an eye on it anyway. Blink seems to be the opening tech of choice here from Stats. And look at this. Lift. Done. You're not getting inside the house. You're not getting this vision. I guess he does. Oh, that's weird. What? He sees 2 factories there. That's really odd. Because there aren't 2 factories. Must have got a little bit of vision when the factory was here, and then a little bit of vision when the factory was here, but they never overlapped. That's crazy. I've never seen that before. Alright, so Hellion's trying to get in. No, there's a hard wall. Good luck with that. There's some Stalkers down here too. And they've almost got Blink, but, you know, whatever. Do what you want, Hellions. You are free Hellions. You can do whatever you're into, guys. Also, hope you're enjoying the 1440p cast. I think it looks pretty good, honestly, on my new monitor that I got myself for Christmas. It's been a lot of fun casting in some higher resolutions and getting some more detail, and just looks nice. It looks real nice. Tanks on the way, or rather a single tank on the way, and a lot of Marines and a Raven. So this feels like ByuN is going for some kind of a Marine tank Raven style push. Push the starport over here, and the tech lab's gonna, yeah, so the barracks is gonna take that tech lab. Maybe for something like Combat Shield, because there are no upgrades for ByuN at all right now. 0. Oh, what just died? Was that an Observer? Yep. Observer got scanned out. Oh, because there's the Raven. So the information now is, alright. Saw a bunch of Marines. We saw a Raven. I think we are very close to needing splash damage stats. So I'd like to see our Robotics Bay coming up. Third base, maybe? A little ill-advised right now. There's no sign that ByuN is trying to expand at all. Hellions are like, oh, you have a third base. Yes, of course. There's your Robo Bay warping in. So we're going to go for Colossus, I think. Although, again, the Raven is so good at disabling those guys. Interference Matrix is amazing. Ah! Oh, no. That sucks for ByuN. Oh, wow. He got 2 of them out. I thought for sure. Never mind. He got 1 of them out. I was going to say, I thought for sure that guy was dead. And he is! Check that action. Hellion running around at the speed of sound with 3 HP. Not great whatsoever. Warping in a ton of Stalkers here. Going for a bit of a Blink Stalker style attack. Siege tanks. Well, 1 on the high ground, 1 on the low ground. No bunker here. A ton of Marines. Which Marines trade so well against Stalkers. Oh, another Warp Prism kind of baiting here. ByuN trying to split the difference. Trying to cover the main base and cover the natural base with these Marines. And blinks in. Takes down a tank. Doesn't lose a whole lot there. That is a really cost-efficient poke. And Stats third base is warping in. Colossus is on the way. If he can kill this Raven, I think he can win this game. Look at this, though. Oh, man. Tank fire is the big problem right now. The Marauder count's a little bit high, too, which is maybe a bit of a problem as well. So this little setup right here is ancient, you guys. This little, the Terran is pushing out, and the Protoss doesn't quite have what it needs to deal with it, so it's kind of just poking and prodding and kiting away and trying to delay ByuN's push across the map here, delay the Terran push across the map. This exists in Brood War 2 and has for a very, very long time. It's ByuN. I don't think ByuN's actually attacking, though. I don't think he likes the damage he's taken. Doesn't like the position that he's in necessarily, but Stats third base is rolling, and ByuN needs to do this now. I feel like we got a second Colossus in production, extended thermal lances on the way. ByuN is just taking a third base. Alright, so he's not trying to win with this, but that is pretty scary stutter-stepping action against these Stalkers. They hate getting stutter-stepped on like that. There's a shield battery here at the third base, some sentries too for Guardian Shield. Maybe for some force fields would be pretty nice. But suddenly the army value is 76 to 45. ByuN has a ton of stuff. And the Colossus are the great equalizer. The thing is, Interference Matrix from the Raven will take down the Colossus very, very quickly if you're not careful with it. Thinking about what to do here. Auto turret gets tossed down. So that's a lot of energy, actually. Off of the Raven. Takes down his warp gate. Tries to jump on top of this Colossus. Shield battery overcharges here, but Interference Matrix on the Colossus means you're healing up something that's not taking a ton of damage necessarily. Oh, never mind, it does. Bam! Sucka, you out. Oh, that Colossus gets interfered with too. And I think that might be our GG, man. It's 74 to 29 total supply. And natural base down. 22 probes down. Income is whoosh. Jumping up into ByuN's side of things here. Resources lost. 5,000 to 2,700. And just no, not enough Zealots. Not enough on the Colossus. And GG ByuN takes game number 1 there. Just a beautiful, beautiful timing push with +1 attack, combat shield, stim, and concussive shell. He brought the Raven. The Raven was so... Did he only have the 1? Man, he only had the 1 Raven. That's so good. I don't know what you guys saw there. That was weird. I accidentally locked my computer while I was recording. Never done that before, actually. Let's try to do this. There we go. Yeah, man. The 1 Raven tossed down an auto turret and 2 interference matrices. That's a lot of energy on that Raven. That's why he made it fast. Makes a lot of sense. And then, yeah, a bunch of Marines died. That's fine. There apparently were some Widow Mines in the mix that got killed. I did not notice those at all. But once the natural died, once the army, there was just nothing left here at all. Like 3 Zealots and a Colossus, not going to make it happen. So that's game 1 in our best of 5. ByuN getting in there like a boss. I'm calling it good. All right. Let's go ahead and check out game number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We've got game 2 here on Pillars of Gold. Bottom left stats, top right ByuN. Alright, stats. What do you do differently? Maybe find a way to take out the Raven. He got Blink Stalkers, but ByuN protected the Raven so very well that it was still alive at the end of the game. Maybe sacrifice some Stalkers to get the Raven, because, man, those Colossus are so very, very important when trying to hold off a push like that. Once again, checking for proxies. Here is stats. We're at 30 seconds, man. I don't think an SCV could... He is super paranoid about this. Pillars of Gold is not a long-distance rush map or a short-distance rush map. It's just kind of average, but... Like, okay, this is all right here, right? An SCV could have come down here and started a barracks by the time the probe gets here. The answer is yes, could be. Anyway, I don't know. Here's the thing about ByuN, guys. ByuN's not going to try to trick you all that much. Again, the proxies, yes, absolutely, the proxies will try to trick you. But other than that, like, he's just going to show up with a ton of Marines and Marauders and a Raven. He does the same stuff in PV or TVP, and he's going to execute it on a crazy high level and see what you do about it. This is ByuN in a nutshell. ByuN has always been this. ByuN back in his heyday in Heart of the Swarm, when he was kicking everyone's butt and taking names, especially from Zerg players, he was just, I'm going to do this. I'm going to power up on 3 bases. I'm going to show up with a bunch of Marines and Widow Mines, and I'm going to beat you. And that's what it was, over and over and over again. It was incredibly frustrating for Zerg players because you knew what was coming, and stopping it, even for the pros, was incredibly hard. That is how good a player ByuN is. He can beat you when you know what he's doing. That's crazy to me. Of course, I don't know. I still think the best players are the ones where, A, if you know what's coming, and they can still beat you, but also, B, you can be caught by surprise a lot. That's what gets really tough. That is where the best players on Earth, in my opinion, come from. So, factory coming up. Got ourselves again, skipping a Reaper play. Stats has got his double gas and his Nexus. All is well at home. Here for stats. Hope you all had a great holiday season. Probably still ongoing. I'm actually off work, which is nice. We just do an office shutdown the week between Christmas and New Year's, and it's been great. I'm playing a ton of Cyberpunk 2077. Really been enjoying that. Again, I had a big rant about this and something I posted last week. But generally, it sucks. I get it. A lot of people are having a bad experience with Cyberpunk because I honestly think to have a good experience, you really have to do it on PC and have spent a few $100s on a graphics card. You just do. So you're down $1,000 right there, and to get enough RAM, to get an SSD. Like, PC gaming is not cheap. It's going to give you a better experience than console gaming in a lot of situations. I say for my PC Master Race lofty tower here, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's beautiful, and CD Projekt Red's devotion to character and story is just, it's second to none, I want to say, in the video game industry. They're just the best at it. Alright, so again, getting Blink, again, Robo, and another Gateway. So pretty much, I don't see much of a difference here from stats. On the other side, this is going to be a Raven. Yeah, there it is. We're going to make a tank or 2, maybe just 1. We're going to pump out a ton of Marines. Once we make our tank, or once we make our Raven, we're going to starport swap the tech lab over onto the barracks so we can get a couple upgrades and make a couple of medevacs with a non-reactored starport, or maybe get a reactor, and then just show up at about 7 minutes and call it a day. Yeah, again, this is what ByuN does. This is who ByuN is. Got ourselves a shield battery. It's a little bit harder to engage into the natural base because of this ramp that you have to deal with if you're an aggressor. But the third base on the other side is super wide open. Like, you've got to attack vectors from all over the place. And taking these rocks down as a Terran is not going to take very much time either. So that's another giant attack path that you got to be worrying about. There's your Raven. You get it early because you need a ton of energy for it. You need all of the energy to do the things, to do the auto turret, to do the interference matrix. And an anti-armor missile, maybe if you want to, that could be pretty good. See, there we go. Barracks swaps over. We start stim. The starport starts producing medevacs. I'm assuming, I don't know if you have time to go for a reactor. You don't need that many medevacs anyway, I don't think. And stats is just, again, third base timing about 4 minutes. Got ourselves a robotics bay warping in. Blink's almost done. He's being less aggressive than he was in the last game, and maybe that helps. Maybe it helps his economy be bigger, and therefore his, 6 or 8 minute army be bigger, and maybe helps him get Colossus out faster. But again, he needs to do something about this Raven. Blink Stalkers, you'd think, would be a great option here because they are fast, they blink, and they hit air targets hard. Observer actually gets in this time and does not get immediately killed by ByuN and his Raven. So again, staying out of range is nice. The Stalkers are here. I don't know. Maybe try to get in the main base, but this tank positioning covers both the ramp and this blink up spot. So Terran players, on this map, put a tank here on your corner, right? Cover the blinking spot, cover the ramp. You'll be a happy Terran. I mean, it doesn't cover the whole ramp, obviously, but, anything that comes in the general area is going to take some pot shots. He did end up reactoring the starport. Okay, so he reactored that, and he is reactoring the factory to go for some Widow Mines. He's got some Marauders in the mix, because pure Marine's not going to do super well here. Marauders are really the crushing force against those Colossus, especially. Marines are not going to do well in that situation, even if they are interfered with. Still takes a while for a Marine to kill a Colossus. Just no. You're not blinking up there. You blink up there, you take immediate tank fire. Marines are fighting at you. Although, if you blink up there and snipe the Raven, yeah, you probably lose these Stalkers, but it really slows down ByuN's ability to do much here. I don't know. His stats being too passive. I don't rightly know. We'll try to see. I'm trying to see, is this just a carbon copy of game number 1? This is ByuN doing the gosh darn same thing. A tank, bunch of Marines, handful of Marauders, some Widow Mines. Observer gets killed even. That's a repeat from game number 1. The Raven is in the mix. Colossus. All right. Nice force field Colossus combo, getting a few free Marines. High ground situations on this map do make it harder for ByuN to engage on the ground. And that's something that Stats is taking full advantage of. He's like, look, if you want to take the shortest path, it's a ramp. You can go around the outside, but that's it's a longer path, although it does have easy access to the third. If you do that, Stats is not quite sure. There he is. All right, so Hallucinated Phoenix sees what's up. Everybody comes in, and there's the Interference Matrix, and there's the Interference Matrix. So the Colossus are in a lot of trouble, but this time they're not immediately dying, which is fantastic. Tank firing away, getting some huge shots off. Oh, okay, Tank does get sniped down by the Stalkers, and that went really well. Widow Mine's getting a couple hits there, but the Colossus are both still alive. And now ByuN doesn't want to really fight this. He's backing out. Is he making a third base? He skipped the third base this time. No, he didn't. He started it. Okay, so there's your third base from ByuN coming up. Stats third base. Happy. Okay, this game is going so much better, but guess who just looped around and dropped directly inside the main base? Oh, Colossus. No. Look at these Stalkers just getting picked off as they're warping in. That's so brutal. Nice Colossus control, though. Keeping them all alive. A couple Marines get left behind and killed. Okay. This is some good trades. 2,300, 2,200. Basically even on the trade front here. Marauders attacking in. Widow Mines. God, getting some hits on these Zealots, but I think this is what they're here for. That's fine. That is fine. We can lose a Zealot to a Widow Mine. It's not exactly a perfect trade, but it's not bad nevertheless. So ByuN's third base is late. Stats is looking okay here at 8 minutes. I'm loving this income favoring Stats. And he's taking a fourth base. Woo! It's a fairly big fourth base against an aggressive Terran. Ah! Colossus! Oh, Warp Prism Micro, good. One of them does get interfered with. Colossus firing away the Warp Prism. Trying to keep these Colossus, all 3 of them, alive, even though one of them has been disabled. Now they're all alive here. Blah. The Marauders are a problem, but still standing and fighting anyway. And boom, 2 Colossus die in short order. A last one is still alive. Stalkers trying to trade with these Marauders. Warping in some Zealots to try to deal with it. And yes, it looks like this is a hold. Oh man, I don't know. Taking direct hits to the shield batteries is bad. Zealots trying to jump on top of this army. The Warp Prism maybe baiting a little bit here. Oh no, it's Colossus Micro. This is so sick. 8 probes have died. These Marauders have been here forever. They're a little bit overstimmed. They've taken a ton of damage, but they have so many medevacs in the sky healing them up right now. Is he going to hold this? He lost some probes. God, no. Ah, it's too much. ByuN's Marauders are too much, and ByuN takes a pretty quick 2-0 lead here against Stats. Yeah, 50 to 16 army supply. It was a Colossus and a War Prism and a Dream for Stats. Is all he had left there, so there's your tap out. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So Stats survived a little bit longer in game number 2, but not a whole lot, unfortunately. Resources lost 10,000 to 6,000 is just a brutal comparison to look at here. It was even, and then it went completely downhill in, well, Stats. Just losing a ton more stuff there. Lost 17 workers. He was down, actually, yeah, only 4 workers, but army value was the bigger problem there at the end of the day. So, well done here by ByuN. He's doing what he's doing, man. He's got a build for TVP. It works really well against Stats, and that's going to be it. All right, let's go ahead and see if Stats can hold on or if he just gets 3-0'd here today. Stick with it. We shall return. We're on Romanticide. Bottom right, ByuN. Top left, Stats. Stats, you are in trouble, good sir. You are ranked higher in the Oligalac rankings than ByuN, but man, ByuN is just on a tear in this series. And not proxying. So, Stats. You don't have to worry about proxies, but you don't know that because of the darn fog of war. Whew. I guess while I have you, be sure to check out the Falcon Paladin Hour. It's a weekly podcast with myself and Somicron. We record it actually live out at twitch.tv/Somicron. That is SOMICRON. Every Tuesday at around 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in tuning in for that hour and to see what's going on, ask us questions live, see what Somicron looks like, I guess. Although if you've been watching the Twitch, you probably know that anyway. Whatever. Check in for those proxies, man. Check it out. You can also just search Falcon Paladin on your podcast app, whatever it is, man. Is it Apple Podcasts? Great. Google Podcasts? Great. Is it Stitcher? Fine. Is it Beyond Pod? All right, we're on Spotify too. Falcon Paladin Hour on Spotify. I was going to say, if you have a commute, podcasts are a good way to spend the commute. That's what I do when I was going to say when I commute, but it's when I used to commute. I have not commuted since March. Completely working from home since then, which is crazy banana thoughts. Maybe one day I'll go back to the office, and maybe we never will. Who knows? Who knows what the future will hold? Alright, so Stats, anything crazy? No. Cybercore before Nexus again. Second guess. Fantastic. On the other side, is ByuN going to do anything different today? Reactor time? Marine? Reactor time? Ah! He skips Reactor. This is a different build. Okay. Alright, quick factory here. Man, is he just going to Widowmine drop Stats to death? That would be the ultimate disrespect. As I come up 2-0, I can do weird stuff. I'm going to see if Stats can handle my Widowmine drop offense. Which is, whew, hard to deal with, man. ByuN did it to Dark in one game, and Dark was just like, blah, just died. It was ridiculous. Widowmine dropping, that's it. Just Widowmine drops consistently throughout an entire game. That's all you gotta do. I guess maybe have some army too. Oh, it's a Stargate opening from Stats. So both players kind of blindly, yeah, blindly choosing to do different things here in this game. Look at that. See this? Widowmine. See this? Starport. That's exactly what we're doing. Fast Widowmine shenanigans. What shuts this down is actually a bunch of Phoenix are great at that. So if he just goes for like a, 5 or 6 Phoenix ball, this might work out for him. Stats, perhaps just blind countered what's going on here today. Yeah, and so by the time he shows up, there's already a reactor out, but there are fewer Marines than there would be normally. Oh, jeez, don't even. Oh, he gets a hit. Ow! Free Adept! Come get your free Adept! Alright, yep, Phoenix production has begun. You don't really want to go Oracle when your opponent's going Widowmine because you're probably going to fly into one of those Widowmines with your Oracle and get one shot. Nobody enjoys that experience. Okay, so yeah, we're just doing Phoenix, man. That's exactly what Stats is up to. Are the Widow Mines hiding? They do that thing where they hide behind refineries and stuff. But they're all now in this medevac, so. Medevac cruising across the map, trying to see what's going on. I'm just kidding. This is not a scouting medevac. This medevac is here to murder things. This is where, you know, the Phoenix Ball. That's it. 2, almost 3. You can lift and kill with 2. That's all you need. That's the basic requirement to lift and kill something with Phoenix. And here it is. Lift, kill. Lift, kill. 2 probes go down, but that's it. That's hard countered, man. What ByuN is trying to do here is utterly and completely hard counter. Now it's a scouting medevac. Now the medevac wants to scout and die. Aha! See, now resources lost, 500 to 200. ByuN loses all 3 medevacs and all 3 Widow Mines and a medevac. Phoenix are cruising in here, man. They're looking scary. Do you have more Widow Mines? You don't have more Widow Mines. You do have a lot of Marines, though. No, having a lot of Marines is good against them Phoenix. Also, there's a Raven. But you know what's pretty good against Ravens is Phoenix. Why did Stats not do this earlier? I think he can take that group. Maybe that. No, there's more. Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, maybe don't fight all of them. It's like, there were not that many Marines at the first time I looked. That's because they came over from up this area. And there's more Marines. Okay, so the Marine count's super high. That is why we're going for the Robotics Bay. If you try to beat a Terran player who has a ton of Marines, as a Protoss, you're gonna lose unless you have splash damage. Harstom's recent cast makes that point abundantly clear. He reviewed, I think, a Silver or a Gold League game where the Terran player just had a ton of Marines, basically, in Stim and Combat Shield and some medevacs. And then the Protoss went for, like, Stalker, Adept, Void Ray, and I just tell you, there's no splash damage in that composition, and they died. It's truly the nature of the thing. It's kind of like how Zerg needs Banelings to handle Marines. Like, it's just, I don't know. This is a really good attack by these Phoenix, man. Killed a ton of Marines, killed 4 SCVs. Stats is getting some work done here in game number 3. What an absolute boss. I like this guy. Let's do more Stats games, huh? But yeah, I don't know. It's my whining, right? It's my balanced complaint is that Marines can really only be countered through gas. Right? If you're trying to deal with Marines, a lot of gas. You gotta get Banelings, and the Banelings die if they accomplish their goal. You do not... It's not like High Templar, where they storm the Marines, and the Marines all die, and the High Templar can storm again. Banelings just die. And look, I know Zergs are doing fine. It was a ZVZ finals at TSL 6 recently. I'm not saying that Zerg is underpowered and needs something, but just on my level of StarCraft, which is Diamond 2 or Diamond 1 or sometimes Low Masters if things are going well, my Banelings, I wish I could reuse them. It's a weird complaint, I know. Anyway, ByuN's pushing out, and where's his Raven at? Raven! Oh, picking off reinforcements. This is why Phoenix are good, man. This is why they're good. But see this, oh, it's a 4 siege tank push now. A little bit later than it has been in the past. And this siege is pretty intense, but guess what? It's not getting any bigger thanks to these Phoenix. Did they kill the Raven? They did kill the Raven when I was blathering on. Well done. Well done, Phoenix. This is what we're talking about. It makes it so much easier for Stats to hold in this situation. Look at this. He has to hold a bigger group of units back before sending them out. Oh, that's so good. I love these missile turrets here because they can hit both the Phoenix and the Colossus. It's not a common thing to see missile turrets hitting Colossus, but they can. Because technically Colossus are so high they're flying units and ground units at the same time. They're a weird, very unique unit in StarCraft that way. Oh, we're going. Ton of Zealots warped in. Bam. Colossus in the back doing the damage. Zealots absorbing a ton of the damage here as well. Zealots actually refusing to die. Then pulling back up the ramp. Army supply about even, which is not great for ByuN because he's got a lot of Marines and they're not super good in this situation. Marines against Zealots and Colossus going to have a bad time. Look at these Phoenix, man. Maybe they can't kill this tank, but they're going to weaken it. Gonna kill a couple Marines for sure. That bonus versus light is fantastic. And ByuN actually going home here. This is what we're talking about. This is what Stats needed. The Phoenix were the answer, ladies and gentlemen. The Phoenix in the hands of a true god of StarCraft, which Stats is. Taking a 4th base. Dude, ByuN doesn't even have a 3rd yet. He put his entire soul into that attack. That's why he had so many tanks. Is he delayed the 3rd immensely, went for a 2-base timing attack, and now Stats is getting his 4th. And let's just say the income tab looks like this right now. Observer snipe. I see you down there, little observer debris. Sorry. Okay, well, ByuN, yeah, he's down in army supply, he's down in worker count, he's down just 50 overall supply, which makes sense. More Colossus, Archons in the mix now, and there are no ghosts. We're pulling the boys. ByuN wants to 3-0 this thing. He's pulling the SCVs. It's going to come down to this attack. That is a horrible position to attack into. That is a choke, man. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, one of the Colossus died anyway. The tanks are target firing the Colossus a little bit, or they were for a second regardless, but 20 SCVs going down. That is it, man. We're done. GG Stats. He does not go out in 3 games. Ends up taking 1 to force a game number 4. And has he cracked it? Has he cracked the code of how to defeat ByuN? Is it just the opening Phoenix? Did ByuN just mess up by going into Widowmine and get blind countered by Stats Phoenix? Maybe. It's entirely possible that's what happened. Resources lost 11,000 to 8,000, favoring the Protoss player. Man, that was something amazing from Stats, and killing the Raven, right? Killing the 1 Raven with the Phoenix is such a good play. Good stuff, man. Excellent, excellent stuff from Stats. Let's move on to game number 4 for your Wednesday. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I'll love you for it. Be right back. Game 4's here on Oxide. Bottom left, ByuN. Top right, Stats. That's right. Stats with extra S's at the end. Alright, so how's this one going to work out? Once again, checking for proxies here, but ByuN is not interested in proxying in this series at all. Not even like the tiniest of bit at all. Stats is still worried about it, man. He's still absolutely concerned there are barracks buildings somewhere around his home. It's not. See, he's doing great. He's doing good things, man. He's building a barracks. Isn't that... It's a weird thing, right? Because based on the animations here, this SCV is not building. It just has a drill. It has a drill and a claw. And there's like robotic arms that seem to be doing most of the work. So it's like the SCV is overseeing the construction, maybe. Maybe here and there he's fixing little problems with the automated process. I don't know. It's a weird thing, the way they chose to make it build on its own. But I guess that's just a callback to like Warcraft 2, right? Where buildings built on their own while the worker was kind of inside them and like disappeared. It's a strange thing. I guess that's more of a drone Zerg comparison to make, though, in particular. Anywho, once again, we're not making Reapers today. ByuN has no interest in spending any kind of anything. Any energy, any wrist mobility on Reapers today. Can't necessarily say that I blame him. Seriously cannot. What else is going on? Oh, Letterkenny's back. Oh, I'm so happy Letterkenny is back. It came back last week in the States and in Canada, I think. It's on Hulu in the US and on Crave TV in Canada. I don't know how the rest of the people in the world acquire Letterkenny, but honestly, one of the more cleverly written shows. It is not really a show about anything else. It's writing. There's something about relationships and... But I would say the #1 priority for Letterkenny is the writing clever all the time? And the answer is generally yes. Like, 99% of the time, yes. There's a little bit of... Honestly, there is relationship stuff. There are characters. There's interesting stuff happening. There's plots. But everything serves the writing. And whether it's clever. And by that, I mean the dialogue. It's dialogue writing that is clever. Not necessarily the plot writing or the world building or anything like that. That's Letterkenny in a nutshell. Alright, so guess what Stats is doing? Hey, Stargate again. He's like, you know what won me the last game? Was Phoenix. And oh, quick third from ByuN? Whoa! ByuN's like, well, let's see. Build I went for in games 1, 2, and 3 probably won't work again. Let's make this sucker up. Let's get a quick third base and hope that Stats sits at home and waits for my attack to come and doesn't take a third base of his own. Man, that would be huge. That would be huge for ByuN. Just faking him out, man. That's why you have the Adept for the scouting, though. Scouting in here is impossible, however, unless you have an Observer, which you don't have yet because you skipped it to go for a Stargate. Well, you delayed it to go for a Stargate because this is the thing now. That's the Robo now. I guess you have a Phoenix for scouting purposes, though. That's fine. So sees the quick third and says, ah, I got bamboozled. It's a quick third base. I didn't see any Widow Mines at all because there aren't any. I didn't see a factory at all. We completely skipped FAC. Oh, this is crazy. I would say this is an insanely fast, really big marine timing push, but there's a command center behind it. And is getting a factory. So this can't be a I'm going to win with this kind of a push, right? Impossible. It's impossible that it is. I mean, what upgrades does he even have? Nothing. He has no upgrades. This will work out with Stim, maybe. You know, a couple SCVs getting picked off back home thanks to the Phoenix Ball. They're doing all right for themselves. I'm serious. Waiting for Stim would be amazing here. Shield battery overcharge is going to be kind of nuts too. And yeah, this is not ByuN trying to win the ball game or win the the video game. This is ByuN, you know, just checking around, putting some fear of Terran into Stats. Starport coming up. Engagement here. Going all right, man. Wow. Wow. Okay, so all the Adepts die. Killing the Zealots is a harder thing for these Marines to do. So they're just going to hoof it on back home, and I think they will all end up dead to these Phoenix. Yeah. Well, what if there's enough energy, maybe? Are you guys all that low on energy? Seriously, every Marine you can kill is totally worth it, guys. Totes worth it. Okay, got him. Excellent. Actually, one of them did make it home somehow. 3 pot shots on the third base is nice for these Phoenix as well. And then just a ton of barracks here. Oh, killing one building. Killing one building of barracks. The other one manages to survive because of his buddies nearby. And it's just going to be, you know, it's ByuN. Again, he's not going to go for a battlecruiser play, obviously. We're not going to see any mech, although there were a lot of tanks in that last game, in all fairness. There you go. Phoenix taking out a medevac. No problems there. Taking off some SCVs. Maybe a Marauder or two. See, no bonus versus Marauder, but you will kill him. And look at this. This is delaying ByuN. This is delaying ByuN's attempt to get out there and do stuff. So Stats third base, again, a little bit later than ByuN's is, but up and running. He's got himself 59 probes to 58 SCVs. Of course, ByuN has lost some SCVs here today. 7 in total here in game numero 4. And the Phoenix just doing Phoenixy things. Makes Ravens kind of useless. Makes reinforcing lines kind of hard to work out. Not good at straight up defense though. Like if the Phoenix need to be involved in an attack right here, And the Marine count is high enough. They're not going to do very well for themselves. Alright, so, I don't know. ByuN's third base was earlier, which is nice. Stats is trying to come back by taking a fourth base faster. Then ByuN's able to get a fourth base out, which I think is not a bad idea. Ghost Academy coming in. We might actually see ghosts for the first time in the series. Good golly. About time to get some ghosts in here, huh? Enhanced Shockwave on the way, because as we all know, ghosts with Enhanced Shockwave are how you beat late game Protoss. Apparently, ByuN has shown us the way to defeat Protoss in the first 10 minutes. But once they start getting giant, scary death ball armies, Enhanced Shockwave EMP is a godsend. Extraordinarily useful, my son. On the other side, stats is really just statsing, man. We're getting into that composition of a lot of Zealots, a lot of Colossus, some Immortals, Sentries, Stalkers, Storm in the mix eventually, I think. By that I mean we need a Templar Archives, which we have, but we haven't researched Storm yet. Maybe just Archons for the time being. Yeah, this is really setting up for a bit of a longer macro game here in game number 4. That's nice. I was worried we wouldn't get a single one. Like, I knew the series was not super long. Alright, man. So Enhanced Shockwave is out way before Storm is done. Storm is not even started yet, man. Going for a Dark Shrine. A couple free Archons here is never a bad thing. Did he just get caught out? He just got caught out. He just got completely cut off from his third base, and he's going to lose it. Oh, EMP on the Phoenix makes them squishier. They're already pretty squishy, y'all. Alright, so trying to flank around from the backside where the tanks are not, but the tanks have repositioned very nicely because that's what ByuN does. His positioning is incredibly good, along with everything else. This is why ByuN is a scary, scary player. Stats is replanting the third base down here near the main. It's a, fairly well-protected area. If you're into that sort of thing, ByuN sieging up. Once again, being forced to siege up because Stats is approaching. This is something you can do to delay these Terran pushes. If they have siege tanks, is push in there, try to make it look like you're going to jump on them. Then they have to siege up, and that slows the push down. Although this might be exactly where they want to be. Maybe up a little bit more would be nice. EMP on them Colossus. We're going to drain the shield batteries completely dry, which is really good. Does he want to bring the tanks up? Dude, if you can get the tanks up on this high ground somehow, without Stats messing with them, that'd be incredible stuff. This Marine on a mission. Take down a pylon. Stats going for it. Bringing the Zealots in. Lifting a couple of the tanks on the right side. Trying to take those suckers out. The Zealots are actually not doing as well as they did in the last one. I can tell you that much. Archons, oh, dead. Oh my goodness. That might have been a mistake to engage there. Oh, the Colossus are so almost dead, but pulling back to, again, a defunct shield battery. ByuN does not have much remaining. He's got these 3 tanks. Another tank joining the party. He needs to siege up. He needs to get in there now. He can take this base down, which would be massive for him. He does have a 4th base of his own at the 6 o'clock position. A Zealot attack into this 3rd. This replacement 3rd would be amazing. Look at these Vikings. Shield battery overcharge. Is it enough to keep? It is. It's enough to out heal the damage being put in by these Vikings, but nothing shoots up. So we wait for that to finish. And we jump in, and the base is done. That is an evacuated 4th base. It's 166 to 135 total supply. ByuN is just on fire right now. On fuego. Goodbye. Next, the second one of the day goes down. These EMPs have just been ridiculously on point. So now we've got, it is Stats never replaced this third. It's a 3-basing Stats. Oversaturated on his third base pretty immensely versus a 4-basing ByuN. The income, shoof. Just shoop down into that blue pretty heavily, didn't it? Ladies and gentlemen. Good tank shot there. Army supply, 119 to 79. It's not great. Oh, another EMP catches that Archon especially. I feel like Storm... Wow, that's where the EMPs come in. Your High Templar get EMP'd. You're having a bad time. Once again, Stats forced to engage into an entrenched position here for ByuN. And, oh, Stats is moving forward. That's never a good sign. Wow. He won that engagement handily. And that's your good game. ByuN is your winner. 3 games to 1 in this best of 5 series. An absolutely fantastic final game there from ByuN. Ends up resources lost 18,000 to 10,000. Basically, Stats doubles up on the resources lost there. Not what you want to see. Not what you ever want to see. Crikey. Crikey indeed. All right, well, you know what we're looking at there? That is a 3-1 ByuN win over Stats. Impressive display from Stats for sure. The use of ghosts in the final game was incredible. The resulting income after killing those bases was great. The dash up to that third base to kill it was massive. And then just very slowly, very patiently killing the fourth base and then moving on to the replacement third. And Stats, more than once today, was forced to engage into a ByuN that was sieged up and really, really hard to break. And didn't break it either time. Rough games for Stats there, but ByuN ends up coming out on top. He's like, if you want to go Phoenix, that's fine. We'll just skip Widow Mines, get into Ghosts a little bit faster, and have a good day. Whew. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a fun little out-of-season best of 5, yeah? By out of season, I just mean more along the lines of Wednesday instead of Sunday, but you know what I mean. All right, so that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.